Job. Chapter 22. And Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Can a man of might be of any use to God? No, a man of insight is of use only to himself. Is it a matter of delight to the Almighty that you are righteous? Or is it a gain to him that you make your ways perfect? Is it because of your fear of him that he reproves you, that he enters into judgment with you? Is not your wickedness great, and is there no end to your iniquities? For you have taken pledges from your brothers without cause and stripped the naked of their clothing. You have not given water to the weary to drink, and you have withheld bread from the hungry. And as for the man of power, the earth was his, and the man of honor dwelt in it. You have sent away the widows empty, and the arms of the orphans have been crushed. Therefore snares are all around you, and sudden dread troubles you. Or darkness, so that you cannot see, and an abundance of waters covers you. Is not God at the height of heaven? And look at the highest of the stars, how lofty they are. And you say, What does God know? Can he judge through the deep darkness? Thick clouds are a covering to him, so he cannot see, and he walks upon the circle of the heavens. Will you keep the old way, which wicked men have trodden? Such were snatched away before their time, whose foundation was poured forth like a stream. Who said to God, Depart from us, and, What can the Almighty accomplish for us? Yet he fills their houses with good things. But the counsel of the wicked is far from him. The righteous see and rejoice, and the innocent deride them. Saying, Surely those who rose up against us are cut off, and the remnant of them the fire has devoured. Be well disposed to him and at peace with him, by such, good will come upon you. Receive instruction from his mouth, and lay up his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be built up. If you put injustice far away from your tents, and place your gold nuggets in the dust and your gold of Ophir in the stones of the brooks, then the Almighty will be your gold nuggets and precious silver to you. For then you will delight yourself in the Almighty, and you will lift up your countenance to God. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will repay your vows. You will also decree something, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways. When they cast you down, you will say, I am up. And the lowly person he will save. He will deliver him who is not innocent, yes, you will be delivered through the cleanness of your hands. Job. Chapter 23. Then Job answered and said, Today also my complaint is bitter, my stroke is heavy because of my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come to his seat. I would present my cause in order before him, and I would fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and I would understand what he would speak to me. Would he contend with me in the greatness of his power? No, but he would give heed to me. There the upright man can argue with him, so I would be delivered forever from my judge. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I do not perceive him. To the left, where he acts, but I cannot look on him, he hides himself on the right, so I cannot see him. But he knows the way that I take, should he try me, I would come forth as gold. My foot has held fast to his steps, I have kept his way and have not turned aside. As for the commandment of his lips, I have not turned back from it, I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my apportioned food. But he is of one mind, and who can turn him? And what his soul desires, that will he do. For he performs what has been appointed to me, and many such things are with him. Therefore I am terrified at his presence, I consider and am in dread of him. So God has made my heart faint, and the Almighty has terrified me. Because I was not cut off before the darkness, nor did he cover the deep darkness from my face. Job. Chapter 24. Why are times of judgment not stored up by the Almighty? And why do those who know him not see his days? Some remove landmarks, they seize the flock and pasture them. They drive away the donkey of the fatherless and take the widow's ox as a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way, the poor of the land are made to hide together. Indeed, like wild asses in the desert, they go forth to their work, diligently seeking some prey, the wilderness provides them food for their children. In the field they harvest their fodder, and they glean the vintage of the wicked. They spend the night naked, without clothing, and have no covering in the cold. They are wet from the mountain showers, and for lack of shelter they embrace the rock. Some pluck the fatherless from the breast, and what the poor has on, as a pledge. They go about naked, without clothing, and being hungry, they take up the sheaves. Between their walls they press out oil, they tread the winepresses yet suffer thirst. From the city men groan, and the soul of the wounded cries out, yet God does not regard the folly. These are among those who rebel against the light, they are not acquainted with its ways, nor do they abide in its paths. The murderer rises at dawn, he kills the poor and the needy, and at night he is like a thief. The eye of the adulterer also watches for the twilight, saying, not an eye will see me, and he disguises his face. They dig through houses in the dark, by day they shut themselves in, they do not know the light. For morning is to all of them like the shadow of death, because they are acquainted with the terrors of the shadow of death. Swift are they upon the face of the waters, their portion is cursed in the earth, there is none who turns toward the vineyards. Drought and heat snatch the snow water, as Sheol snatches those who have sinned. The womb forgets him, the worm finds him sweet, he is remembered no more, and wrongdoing is broken like a tree. He despoils the barren woman who does not bear, and does no good for the widow. But God preserves the mighty by his power, he arises, and no one is certain of life. He grants a man to be secure, and he rests on it, and his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted a little while, then they are no more, and they are brought low, like all others, they are gathered in and are cut off like the tops of the ears of grain. And if it is not so, then who will prove me a liar and bring my words to naught? Job. Chapter 25. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, dominion and dread are with him, he makes peace in his high places. Is there any number to his armies? And upon whom does his light not arise? How then can a man be righteous with God? And how can one born of a woman be pure? Indeed, even the moon has no brightness, and the stars are not pure in his eyes. How much less a man, a maggot, and the son of man, a worm. Job. Chapter 26. Then Job answered and said, how you have helped him who is without power. How you have saved the arm of him who is without strength. How you have counseled him who is without wisdom and have plentifully declared sound knowledge. To whom have you uttered words? And whose spirit has come forth from you? The deceased are made to tremble beneath the waters, and those who inhabit them. Sheol is naked before him, and Abaddon has no covering. He stretches out the north over the void, he hangs the earth upon nothing. He binds up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them. He covers the face of his throne, he spreads his cloud over it. He drew a circle on the surface of the waters as a boundary of the light and the darkness. The pillars of heaven shook and were astounded at his rebuke. By his power he stilled the sea, and by his understanding he struck down Rahab. By his spirit the heavens became beauty, his hand pierced the fleeing serpent. Indeed, these are but the fringes of his ways, and how small a whisper do we hear of him. But as for the thundering of his mightiness, who can comprehend it? Job. Chapter 27. Then Job again took up his discourse and said, as God lives, who has taken away my right, and the Almighty, who has embittered my soul. As long as my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. Surely my lips will not speak anything wrong, nor will my tongue utter deceit. Far be it from me to declare you righteous. Until I die, I will not put away my integrity from me. To my righteousness I will hold fast, I will not let it go, my heart does not reproach me for any of my days. May my enemy be like a wicked man, and may he who rises up against me be like someone unjust. For what is the hope of the profane man when God cuts him off, when he takes away his soul? Will God hear his cry when distress comes upon him? Does he take delight in the Almighty? Will he call upon God at all times? I will teach you about the hand of God, what is with the Almighty I will not conceal. Indeed, all of you have seen it yourselves, and why then have you become altogether vain? This is the portion with God for a wicked man, and the inheritance that oppressors receive from the Almighty. If his children are multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring will not be satisfied with bread. Those who remain of him will be buried in death, and his widows will not lament. Though he heaps up silver like dust and prepares garments like clay. He may prepare them, but the righteous will wear them, and the innocent will divide the silver. He builds his house as a moth does and like a hut that a watchman makes. He lies down rich but will be rich no more, he opens his eyes, and he is not. Terrors overtake him like waters, at night a whirlwind steals him away. The east wind carries him off, and he goes, and it sweeps him out of his place. And God hurls at him and does not spare, he hastily flees from his hand. Men clap their hands at him and hiss him out of his place. Job. Chapter 28. There is certainly a mine for silver, and a place for gold to be refined. Iron is taken out of the earth, and copper is smelted from rock. The miner sets an end to the darkness, and to the very end he searches out the stones of deep darkness and of gloom. He breaks open a shaft apart from where men dwell, they are forgotten by the foot, they are suspended apart from men, they sway about. The earth from it comes forth food, yet underneath it, it is turned up as it were by fire. Its stones are the place of sapphires, and its dust has gold. It is a path known by no bird of prey, and the falcon's eye has not seen it. The proud beasts have not trodden it, the fierce lion does not pass along it. The miner sends forth his hand into the flinty rock, he overturns the mountains by its roots. He cuts out channels in the rocks, and his eye sees every precious thing. He dams up the streams so that they do not trickle, and that which is hidden he brings out to the light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man does not know its price, nor is it found in the land of the living. The deep says, it is not in me, and the sea says, it is not with me. Rare gold cannot be given for it, nor can silver be weighed out for its price. It cannot be balanced with the gold of Ophir, with precious onyx or with sapphire. Gold and glass cannot compare with it, nor can vessels of fine gold be exchanged for it. Coral and crystal cannot be mentioned with it, indeed the acquisition of wisdom is above that of pearls. The topaz of Cush cannot compare with it, nor can it be balanced with pure gold. From where then does wisdom come? And where is the place of understanding? For it is hidden from the eyes of all living and concealed from the birds of heaven. Abaddon and death say, we have heard a report of it with our ears. God understands the way to it, he knows its place. For he sees to the ends of the earth, he beholds all that is under heaven. When he gave weight to the wind and apportioned the water by measure. When he made a decree for the rain and a way for the thunderbolt. Then he saw it and declared it, he established it and even searched it out. And he said to man, indeed, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding.